right, it is. Wow, so wacky. So wacky. It is, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Time. Ding dong. Avon calling. 1 in the afternoon, Eastern Time. So maybe this is a little bit more of a civilized hour for my West Coast folks. Hey, this is Beth, Destination Decluttered. Usually doing the TikTok lives. Oop, let me just do this. Usually, good morning, Gina. Nice to see you, P. Well, like little friendly names and faces popping up. Very cool. Here's a funny thing. I don't often do a TikTok live this late in the day. Usually, I'm an early bird. I'm a person up in the morning, East Coast and all that. But couple things. One is, as I mentioned, I'm here for the next hour to help you with your clutter and stuff. But oh, that's weird. Gotta make sure my lamp is plugged in. Yeah, I'm here to help you. And as I mentioned, like usually I do this early. Oh, hopefully we'll get some West Coast folks. It's so funny. This morning, my husband and I, he helped me, hang up the map that I'm always looking at. So my brain, talk about habits, my brain went to where it usually goes. And now I'm like, oh, I get to look at it up there, which kind of, works for me now. So anyhow, if we haven't met, Laura, I see you. Nice to see you. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and I am here. Thank you. Can you shut the door, please? Such a good guy. I am here for the next hour to help you with your clutter and your stuff. There you go. See, Chica Pepsi is saying good morning from California. Robin is saying, hey, Beth, Michelle, and Gigi, and Ginger, and all the folks. Can I share something with you? Well, I'm going to, even if you say no. But here's a funny thing. The only reason I am on this at this hour is because I made a typo. Honora, nice to see you from Long Island. Grace Gold, nice to see you too. Okay, Michelle Noel is from California too. Anybody from the West Coast, if you're chiming in right now, let me know where you're coming in from, because here's the funny thing, is the way my coaching schedule goes, I usually am busy with clients during this time of day during the week, so I don't often show up when it is a little bit later in the morning for the West Coast folks. The funny thing about that, as I was mentioning, is that the only reason I'm here is because I made a typo and I didn't catch it until I sent out the Destination Decluttered email a few weeks back, and I decided to honor it. It was going to be at 10 a.m. Indiana, Georgia. Okay, so we got people from all over the world. Cool. I hope you have had some time to declutter this weekend, and if you haven't, that's okay too. I am here for the next hour or so to help you get decluttered, to inspire you, to help you get from, as I like to say, from stuck to started. And there's all sorts of things going on, but I am here for you. Actually, I'm getting some texts coming through because I just have awesome friends and we're all bopping back and forth. But you may have a focus feature on your phone. I have learned to embrace that. We have so many things that can distract us. It is really important to use the tools that are available to get us focusing on the things that are important. And I love this. Yeah, okay, so German made. Yeah, I want to do more later ones for West Coast. And honestly, I think if you look back, if you are on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, you will see it. It said it was supposed to be, say, 10 a.m. And I'm not such a great typist. However, it looked more like 1 p.m. And then I just ran with it. So anywho, here I are. Listen to me. Okay. Christina Long is ready to clean. All right, lady, go for it. Set yourself loose. And for the next 55 minutes, can you imagine how much better your home is going to look, feel, and function if you just even use this time to do your decluttering? Ginger Dragon 327. Oh my gosh, we're totally going to talk about clothing decluttering, because I have a lot of thoughts on that today, because there's kind of the change of the season, the time of the season. It's the time of the season, as the zombies would say, to think about your clothing. Grace Goal is saying, so I emptied the dog's drawer and divided it into 2 containers, extra leashes and collars and toys. Awesome. I love it. Organizing and categorizing are going to be your BFFs during this process. And the more you can make categories that make sense to you, the easier it will be. There we go. Gabrielle is saying, I need your best packing moving tips, please. Okay, Gabrielle, wicked easy. Only bring what you love. Only bring what is helpful to you, the stuff that makes your life easier and lights your life up. Use moving as an excuse to ditch some of the stuff that you don't like. Decorate. Go into your new home, decorating it and filling it even in your mind with the stuff that you own, only the good stuff. How's that? Thank you everybody for following the lives. If we haven't met before, just throwing this out there. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. I do that because I love to travel, and for years I wrote about road trips. And honestly, it was not until I said to myself in frustration once, I was like, why can't I just plan my life like a road trip? It would be so much better. And then I thought, you know what? I don't know. What if I do? What if I try to use the skills of planning a road trip to change my life, and OMFG if it did not make things so much better? And I also grew up in a cluttered home. I also am a collector, or more like a recovering collector. I don't collect as much, but I have collections, and I do love looking at stuff. So I'm not some person from high on the mount who's figured it all out, but boy, have I figured out so much that I just had to hop onto social media and share it with you. I do this by doing TikTok lives. I have a Destination Decluttered email mailing list if you want to get on that. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. I'm just looking over here to make sure. Yep. And also I do one-on-one coaching. Also, I've got something in my eye. I do one-on-one coaching with clients on Zoom, and here's the cool thing. I just wanna offer. I'm always offering. I'm always suggesting stuff for you. Is if you want really the good stuff from me, it's a free thing. Still, it's not like you got to pay for it. But the Destination Decluttered email mailing list is the place to be. I say that because the people on the Destination Decluttered mailing list found out this weekend when my next Destination Decluttered TikTok lives are going to be from now till the end of September. I put that in the mailer that I sent out at the end of last week, this weekend. The other thing too is I realized I travel a lot, so my travel schedule does impact my coaching. And so there's a whole week where I'm not going to be on the digital grid, as I like to say. So what I did was I looked through and I combed through my breeze blocked schedule, and I found places where I could meet up with people for consultations, for coaching, and I put those on my calendar. Now, I sent those to the people on the mailing list first, and many of you took those up. So there are only there's only a handful, less than a handful of coaching consultations between now and the end of September. Now, I just say that to you to be like, if you think that's something you want to do at some point, I'm not pressuring you, but just hop on the mailing list, okay? DestinationDecluttered.com/join, or on the homepage. Somebody just filled it in, so I know it's working. Thank you, whoever you were. There we go. Awesome 14 Sauce is saying, I've been decluttering the past hour to see how much I could get done before your video. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. Yeah, a lot of people. I will do one more kind of public service announcement with guitar, as the Clash would say, which is the Destination Decluttered TikToks that I do, and I do them frequently. Actually, today's the last one that I did that I posted about, but after this one, I will do a video and I will post it as to the ones that go on from now to the end of the month. But the reason I say that is because a lot of people have said that they find it wicked helpful to listen to the TikTok lives, either when they're live right now or when they are uploaded to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. So Destination Decluttered on YouTube is where I archive, and so you can watch the TikTok lives in real life. And I say this because people say it's handy to have it on in the background while they declutter. Okay, there's that. Okay, yay, okay, and say, Kay, thank you for saying yay, the schedule is in the email. Great, okay. Yes, you get first dibs. Okay, so here we go. I love it too, how people are already helping other people. People helping people while I'm yakking here. So let's get to it. Clothing decluttering. Clothing decluttering. I just did a video yesterday when I was doing laundry, and so I'll reiterate it if you haven't seen it. Basically, get curious about the clothing that you are not wearing. Notice the clothes that don't make it into the laundry because they never make it onto your body, or they make it onto your body for a minute and then you take it off. Those are the clothes. Those are the clothes that are making it more difficult for you to put away the clothes you do use, right? And here's what I just always suggest. Get in a curious state of mind and say, why am I keeping these clothes? Why am I keeping this item? And why, and listen for the answer. Don't just say it like a dismissive, why do I always do this? That's judgment. That's shutting you down. Say, curious, why do I always do this? Why? I'm pointing to my own. Mentally, I'm looking at these two, closets back here. Now, I, being a decluttering life coach, am pretty good at this stuff, but still, I have clothing. I will share, and I'm sure you do too. I bet you have clothing in your clothing collection that is stuff that doesn't currently comfortably fit on your body. Anybody else? Anybody else saving clothes for, well, I fit into it at one point and I might fit into it again, so I'm going to save it? Not an unusual thing. Not an unusual thing, but this is what I want to suggest to you to make it easier for you to live. This is one of the reasons I do the clutter coaching, is because I know that clutter can jam you up. Clutter can cost you time and money and frustration, and your mood gets affected and all sorts of things. So I want to make it easier for you in your home on the everyday, because when your everyday flows like or moves like a well-oiled machine, it just is effortless to just such little effort needs to be put into all the things you need to do. If you haven't sorted out your clothes and kind of extricated the stuff that doesn't fit into like a tote or somewhere separate, it's probably getting in your way when you're trying to find the clothes that do fit. So categorizing your clothes, spending 15 minutes and saying, all right, I'm going to go through like a section of my closet, and I'm going to pull out what fits me, what do I wear, what if I'm not sure if I wear it or not. I'm going to walk through, I'm going to do some videos because I have some clothes that I know I'm doing this thing to. So I'll walk you through it slowly, but just notice that. If your clothes that don't fit are getting in the way of the clothes you do fit into, that can jam you up. Excuse me, I'm doing a little bit of there we go. Doing a little bit of decorating, okay? It's okay if you don't fit in clothes anymore, too. If you have clothes that are of a size, and I try to be on both ends of the spectrum, that you no longer fit into, small, too big, too small, three bears, it's okay that you have them. It's also okay if you feel like you want to let them go. Now, the interesting thing is if you have a feeling that you don't want to let it go, if your hand is clinging on to them, probably starts with a thought. Get curious about your thoughts. Why? What are you thinking that's causing you to hold on to those clothes? And what is that? And notice that's making you cling on to something as opposed to releasing it. There's always this line down the middle of you. Unhelpful thought, helpful thought. Hanging on to, releasing. Opposites. We play with the opposites, okay? There we go. What else? Yes, and also, so Gabrielle had mentioned, and there's a whole bunch of messages. I will endeavor to get to most all of them. Is Gabrielle is saying, I need your best packing and moving tips, please. Now, I love this because this plays right into the whole destination decluttered kind of process, which is to envision what your destination is. What do you want your home to look and feel like? What do you want your home to look like? Eyes. Eyes, eyes, eyes. Anybody? Baroness von Sketch? Love them. Eyes. What do you want it to look like? Because when it looks better, you're going to feel better. So how do you want to feel in your home? Okay, how do you want it to look? How do you want it to feel? And also, how do you want it to function? I guess that's, again, from the head to the heart to the hands. Where can you find your stuff to easily use it? Where can you put it back with your hands? When you define that, it's going to be easier to get there. It is like a road trip. This is why, and for all of you who are just listening, and you've done this before, know that right now is the time where I'm pointing to the little dotted line behind me, the little road trip thing on the map. Let me duck my head. Notice this. This is the only time you really need to look at the screen, because hopefully you're decluttering while I'm talking. But you are here. There's a road trip between where you are now and where you want to be. It's called a road trip. Let's make it fun, please. I don't like to go on boring road trips. Okay, and when you define what your current home, you want it to look, feel, and function like, you rock. But also, Gabrielle, if anybody's moving, say to yourself, what's some stuff I don't want to bring with me? You know, what's some baggage, luggage, heavy baggage and luggage that you're like, I don't want that in my new home. And make those decisions now. I will also, anybody who is moving, you will most likely, once you get into your home and you hang out in it a while and you see what your patterns and routines are, you may realize you need to declutter again because you probably overpacked. Kind of like on vacation where you think you're going to need all this stuff and you get there and you realize you don't really need as much as you thought. So you're going to need to declutter. That's okay. It's just part of the process. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. PMM1128 is saying, like the later time, getting things done before listening to you. Okay. Noting that, I will share that I have already scheduled the TikTok lives for this week and next week. I have. So they may not be at a later time like this. However, knowing that that works for people, I'm going to write this down. I will say in October, do some later TikToks. Notice what I just did there. I had an idea. I was inspired by somebody to say, oh, that's a good idea. Ooh, I like that idea. I want to help people, so I want to make it better for you, right? So what I did was I took that thought from my head, I wrote it down somewhere. It is so important in part of this, and this is a bit of my certified life coaching brain, that you write down this stuff or you're going to forget it. Get it out of your head and onto somewhere. And I say write it down, but you could text it to yourself. You could take it, but somewhere out of your head so you can see it. I am so much more likely going to do this because I got it out of my head. My head is not as sticky as it used to be. My brain is not as sticky. Okay? I don't know if yours is, but not so much. Oh, Judy, I love it. You set an alarm not to see me today. There we go. But I don't know if maybe it's menopause. Maybe it's, who knows what it is? The human brain. I love it. So I want to work with it. And if it's telling me I don't remember stuff anymore, that's okay. I'm going to find a tool I'm going to create a tool in my toolkit to help me. So I write stuff down. I text myself on my morning walks all the time because I get good ideas and I love my good ideas. My good ideas created what we're doing right now. So trust me, this thing does some really good stuff, but remembering, not so much. That's okay. There's other ways to remember things, but there are not other places where you can create awesomeness. The only place you can create awesomeness is in your brain. And then you channel it down and you get it out there and you transform the world. Okay. User 5397 Bloody Blop says, how do you organize after downsizing from a 3-story home to a 2-bedroom condo? You do it by paying attention to the following simple process in your brain. I like to make decluttering so easy because it shouldn't be difficult. Because if you think it's difficult, you're not going to do it. Decluttering is really this kind of dance step. What is this thing? Do I want it? If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? What is this thing? Do I want it? If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? It's like doing the hustle, okay? It's one of those things. It's a cycle. It's a process. It's a lather, rinse, repeat. That's what it is. So you had stuff that fit into your 3-story home. Now you're in a 2-bedroom condo and you say, okay, what do I need here? What do I really want? What do I really need? And pick the good stuff. Don't like surround yourself with stuff you don't like or drags you down. Surround yourself with stuff that lights you up. You don't need as much as you think you do. You may want some of it. Notice the thoughts. What's keeping you holding on to some stuff? Get curious about that. Okay. And this is fun. So I'm hopping down from that, but just pay attention. You are creating the life you want in that 2-bedroom condo. You want it to be awesome. Surround yourself with awesomeness. Dawn B is saying, I have lots of clothes that are sentimental to me. And even though I won't wear again, I can't let go. Dawn, I'm going to do a video on that because I can think of one t-shirt specifically that I can think of right now that I am going to try on. And I'm going to be like, oh, that was like 15 pounds ago. And that's okay. That is okay. That's who I was 10 plus years ago. But I still like the t-shirt. I have memories. But just notice when everybody, check this out. Notice when your clothing ceases to become clothing and kind of slips into that third category of clutter called sentimental. Now, those of you who have tuned in before, you know that the way I coach, I have 3 levels of clutter. You've got surface, you've got stored, and you've got sentimental. So think about your stored clothing clutter, and you've got a t-shirt in a drawer, or maybe in a tote. I think mine's in a tote. I'll find it. And notice that it stays there because you're not wearing it. And you're not wearing it, but you're also not giving it away because it doesn't fit, because it's not just a plain old t-shirt. Mine's a t-shirt, but it has sentimental value. It is no longer an item of clothing to you. It is a souvenir. It is a memory. It is a sentimental item. How about this? You can save it if you want. How about just taking it out of where you store your clothing and you store it where you store your memories? Your, a box of t-shirts that you don't wear anymore. And maybe if you notice you've got a bunch of t-shirts, where is it? You could make a quilt, right? I had a ton of t-shirts because I come from a very casual life, and also music and rock and roll and all that, right? So you could create what do you call this? A lap blanket. I call it a lap blanket because I don't want this on my bed, but and I say create. I'm not crafty, but I sent it away so somebody could do it. Just notice the difference between surface, stored, and sentimental. The stored items you have in your home, with the exception of anything that falls under sentimental, are usually functional items. When you are not wearing your clothing, it ceased to be functional in the way it was created. Just notice that. Get curious about it. Notice and get curious. All of this, listen to me, look at me, I'm tapping, right? Notice and get curious about what you have, what you do, what you think. That will set you free, okay? What else do we have? Ooh, a whole bunch of things. Oh, there we go. At least I realized I consider my clothing my friends. I now want only my favorites in my life. Notice that about everything in your life. Pick your favorites. You know you have favorites. Perfect example right now. Pretty much every time I live, I'm wearing a black t-shirt. It's just so much easier for me, right? But I have my favorites. Even in my pile of black t-shirts, I have different brands. I have different sizes. I have different cuts. Like this is one. It's so funny. I didn't think I was going to like this one, and I do. Like I bought it, and I thought I was going to like it, so I bought two. And then I thought I didn't like it as much because you know what it is? It's like it's got a bit of a boat neck, which I like. And also because my arms are a little bit on the wibbly side now that I'm getting older and I don't want to work out as much or ever. So I got like a little longer sleeve. I like these. Now I'm thinking, why did I return that one to Land's End, J. Crew, something like that? How funny is that? See, we all do this. We buy stuff, we donate it, we give it away, we keep it for too long. It's just, Yeah, Kat says the worst is putting everything in a storage unit. Yeah, you know what the worst is? How much money that's going to cost you. Sometimes, just think about that. Think about anybody who has a storage unit. One of the questions I ask people before we begin a coaching relationship, where is it? I just typed it over because I was getting messy. I have a bunch of questions I ask on the consultations to ensure that we're a good fit, but also to help the folks realize where clutter affects different areas of your life. Think of how much money your clutter costs you. If you have storage unit, how much are you paying a year? Do that monthly thing, X it by 12. If you can't X by 12, X by 10, and then add 2 and all that new math or whatever. But it costs you money. It also does when you buy too much stuff. It also does when you can't find your bills and it's late. Think about those things. Yeah. All sorts of things. Oh, Bloated Wildebeest says, you've been great to work with. Those leggings yoga pants are loving their new home. I love it. Because here's the thing to think about too. This comes from that mindset shift of unhelpful thought makes you feel lousy. Then you cling on to stuff. When you think a more helpful thought, you feel better. You pretty much can more easily let it go. One of the things you can think about is not what you're losing. Oh, I'm losing all those pieces of clothing. What you're doing is, first of all, you're gaining space in your drawers, space in your closet, space to more easily put away things, to immediately grab what you need, space in your home. You are gaining space. When you declutter, you don't lose stuff. You gain space, and you gain the opportunity to be like a fairy godmother aunt, fairy god auntie, right? And what I mean by that is the stuff that you no longer use could really benefit somebody else. Donate it somewhere where somebody who has no pants at all can put on a pair of pants, right? Okay, just notice that. How do I break my husband's habit of putting dirty clothes on the floor? Asks Jessica Riley. And I will say this. Yeah. Oh, and I love it. Heather is saying I will not have my husband will get rid of anything. Sorry, I'm scrolling back here. So I'm like moonwalking through here. Okay. Ooh, a bunch of good stuff here. Okay. Okay. I have to keep myself focused because I'm seeing all sorts of things. I can't keep up with you guys. I can't. Anywho, but what I want to offer is you cannot change anybody, but except for yourself. You can't. Have you tried to even just change yourself? The person that you're with 24/7, 365, forever in the skin that you're in, how not so easy can that be? It's near impossible to change somebody else. But what you can do is you can model awesome behavior. You can pick up your own clothes and make sure they're not on the floor. You can also make sure that your clothing process works functionally. Is there an easy hamper to put that your husband could put his clothes in? You can also let him know that, hey, you did that before, but this is kind of bugging me. So I don't want to be bugged by you. I want to love you. I want to be bugged by you alone. Boop, boop, ba-doop, right? So you say, hey, just to let you know, this is really irking me and I really want to get along with you. So could you practice getting better at, can you practice training yourself, get into the habit of putting your clothes in the hamper? There we go. And I say there we go. Okay, let me see. Something, I'm just looking here, you guys. I forced this idea on my family when they ask for something that's down in laundry. Yep, there we go. I'm not bringing the laundry. And notice, I will say this. Everybody's got your own opinions. I find when I want something to get done, I usually increase the odds of me getting it done by approaching it with love and curiosity and a collaborative nature versus like that, better do it or we're going to get in trouble. I have found I get better results. When I say, hey, not, because I'm a human, I can get pissed at my husband and be, James, we just, but that doesn't feel good, right? So just notice that. Okay, Monica's saying I'm getting weight loss surgery this year, so I'm holding out to clothes I used to fit into. Here's an interesting thing. You ask these questions of yourself. Why am I keeping these things? Then you answer yourself. And if the answer makes sense to you, this is what I love about the fact that I only ever show up in your life on Zoom. I never can make you throw away or donate or sell anything you don't want to. It's all up here and in here for you. You're the one who gets in touch with yourself. And if it makes sense to you and it gets you the life you want, that's the thing I'll say, is if you are surrounded by the exact correct right amount of stuff for you, you're rocking. But if you are clinging on to stuff and it doesn't make you feel good, you might want to think about that. Okay? Okay. I'm going to scroll back and then I'm going to moonwalk, okay? There we go. Oh, I love it, you guys. Here's a funny thing. Like, this is not about me. I love the fact that while I am... oh, you know what, Grace? I will tell you the story of my earrings in a minute. Thank you for asking. I love the fact that, honestly, when I am here helping one person, you guys are helping each other. You're having a nice little combo. Every single time I do one of these TikTok lives, and when we do the Destination Decluttered email-only Zoom call, I love how an immediate community just combines and we're all trying to help each other. Okay, just notice that. And so thank you so much. If we were in a real place, I might want to chastise you for chatting, but the digital place, because it would make it hard for me to focus. However, the digital space is different. Is there something you want to share with us, amazing Larry? Right? Anybody? If you know, you know. That's how I would be. But right now, thank you for helping each other. We're all struggling with something. Let's all help each other. Okay? Abbott Elementary just retired from teaching and thinking about bagging up all the clothes that are hanging. And if I didn't miss it in a month, donate them. So overwhelming to decide what goes. You know what? I get that. I have coached one-on-one a number of teachers and principal, I think, too. And notice that you had one life. You had your teacher life, so you had your teacher clothing. you're probably not going to be wearing your teacher clothing. And that could be a great thing because now you're in your retirement clothing. But giving yourself the opportunity to say, am I going to miss this? Putting it in like a purgatory, a holding space before you do anything drastic. Somebody mentioned earlier today, I think it was a comment on one of the TikTok's videos that I did about putting stuff in a box you think you might not use and waiting a while to donate it. Because if you know where it is if you're going to use it, but if you haven't used it by a certain amount of time, then you can more easily get rid of it, right? What is a good way to organize stuff? Living in a camper with one cabinet, says Jessica Riley, 8942. This is when you get really crystal clear on the quantity of things you need. Because you have a math problem. I will share this, not to show off, but just to state a fact, is I was lucky enough to stay on a boat last week for one night. And I wrote down to myself the efficiency of living on a boat. Because you only can put on so much. Everything you add to a boat and a trailer weighs it down. If you bring too much stuff, you will sink. Also, there's a limited amount of storage. So you need to say, what's the bare minimum that I need to get by and to live? And the thing is it will surprise you how little you need. Sure, you know what? When we have quantities of things, here's something that just occurred to me. My brain, always thinking, is when we have multiples of things, really what that is, all that does is delay us from cleaning something. How does that sound? Think about that. Multiples of clothing, multiples of dishes. I'm sure there's another multiple of something. Glasses, dishes, you know what I mean? If you only had 2 pairs of underpants, you'd just wash them. If you only had 2 glasses, like drinking glasses, you'd wash them. So how many do you really need? All you need to do is get maybe in the better habit of, washing stuff. Okay, good to know that the later time works for people. I don't know if I'd be able to, I'm looking actually right now at my decluttering or my coaching schedule. I promised to look into that for October. What else do we have? Oh, that's right too. Later during the week, better for working folk, earlier on weekend. Okay, good to know. What else do we have? Oh, so many things. Interesting. 9 designs. Notice you have a thought that gives you a feeling. Start with it. I feel, because I think that giving away my smaller size clothing means I'm giving up hope on my fitting into them again. Kind of. And it kind of is. So it matters on, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to make the lifestyle changes to fit into those clothes again? And I don't say this in a chastisey, judgy way. I say this to myself. Do I want to do the things that would ostensibly decrease the size of my body to a size it used to be? Do I want to eat those foods? Eat that quantity of food? Do that quantity of exercise, do those different exercises, whatever it may be. Do I want those things to be in my life? Now, I'll be honest with you. I am lowercase s struggling with that, because part of me is wanting to just freaking love myself, whatever size I am. I used to be that size and that was okay. I used to be that size and I didn't love myself. That size 15, 20 pounds ago, I still thought I needed to lose weight. So it's not the size, it's up here. That's me. That may not be you, but I just want to mention that. Okay? I always think I'm going to do the things and that I will, but I have struggled. Yeah, me too. You're not alone in that. You're not alone. And also, here's the thing. I will do this. Oh, interesting. Loving the Sunday afternoon lives. Okay, noted. And now that we used to have a Sunday fun day at a friend's pool. Now that it's not pool weather, I might do that more. All right. I'm circling that. I am circling that, so I remember that. But what I want to offer is something about weight loss and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know about any of you all. I am of the menopausal age. I was, and to me, I have to remember decades back when I went through the one that comes before this. What was it? Not menopause, like when the girls get the periods and stuff. Anyhow, that one. I didn't want my body to change. I woke up one day, I'm like, what the heck are these boobs doing here? What's this period? Why do I have hips? What's this thing called cellulite? What's this acne? We don't ask for this. It happens. Our bodies are going to do what they're going to do. And we can then spend a lot of money and time and angst fighting against it. Or just be gentle with yourself. Just embrace, try to love yourself all the time. Be kind to yourself. You are awesome the way you are. Your worth on this planet is not measured by size or weight. And I say this to you, I say this to me. Let's try to work on that. I'm trying to work on it. And it may help our decluttering, our clothing decluttering. Like, I know there are some things. I will go through this journey together with you, I promise, because I really feel like I have some things that I say out loud to people that I may need to make sure I'm doing myself. I have some shirts in there that I'm really hoping are going to fit. And if they're not going to, do I want to do the things that are going to force me down into a size that may be requiring so much for me to do? But just notice that, okay? What else do we have? After my daily cleaning and cooking and prepping and lunches, I am out of steam to start a decluttering job. Okay, how about this? GGX 2000. Maybe doing a little bit of decluttering while you are doing the daily cleaning. How much declean? And I will say this, I don't particularly care to daily clean. So I do daily decluttering. I think that's so much better. Daily cleaning, there is dust in my home. I was in the bathroom today and I'm like, oh, look at that. There's dust there. Oh, well, I wiped down that one little bit, but maybe it is. Yeah, not perimenopause. Yeah. So just notice that. I am out of steam. I have run out of gas to start a decluttering job. Decluttering can be tiny. Make your decluttering tiny and do a little bit, kind of, not all the time, but what can you pick up and put away? What can you make a decision on? It doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing. If anything, if you think it's going to be a big dramatic thing, you probably won't show up for it. Okay? Just think about those. Okay? And do a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time is always going to be better than saying, I can't do it until I have a big. That all or nothing, that black and white mentality of I don't have the time to do it. Do this. Seriously, you guys, I'm not even kidding. You set the timer on your phone for 5 freaking minutes. You do decluttering. Your room will look better than it did 5 minutes ago. It is 5 minutes. You can get a lot done in 5 minutes. So whenever your brain offers up that unhelpful thought, I don't have the time. I may not have a lot of time, but I have 5 minutes, and 5 minutes can get me from stuck to started. You would be surprised at how much you can do in 5 minutes. Try it. Get curious. Experiment. Play with this. See if I'm right. See if I'm wrong. Be like, I didn't get anything done in 5 minutes. Okay, noted. But I bet you could if you wanted to. Look for when your brain is giving you excuses because it doesn't want you to change. And that's where I get into like the little lifey coachy things. But changing your life to something you want it to be, oh my gosh, I love that. There we go. Ooh, to quote Taylor, everything you lose is a step you take. I'm believing it's Taylor Swift and not Taylor Hanson, right? Oh, see, I love this. All sorts of good things here. Yeah, I don't like the storage unit things. But here's the funny thing, Judy. Judy is saying she doesn't like storage units. They're not my deal anyway, but boy, somebody's making money from the fact that we can't make decisions about our stuff. That's when my 80s punk rock background gets me pissed off because somebody has found something that we're weak on, and boy, are they making tons of money. If they weren't making tons of money, these cubey places would not be popping up all over the place. I like to, as they say, stick it to the man by not having to deal with them at all. Fight the power, right? Yeah, see, Jackie Condon. I struggle with wanting to do the big, huge projects and then do nothing. Notice, when you have an all or nothing mentality, you get nothing. You do nothing. What you do is you realize that even big, huge projects, chunk it down. Chunk it down, my friends. Look at me. Like, chunk it down. Overwhelm. Too big, chunk it down. The pyramids, right? The pyramids are all a bunch of little bricks. They didn't get, boom, unless you believe that they floated down from the sky from UFOs, but they got built brick by brick, day by day. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. I think I read that on a trivet out in Lancaster County where the Amish live. So notice yourself that even the road map metaphor, people, there's a certain amount of miles. A mile is a unit of measure. A mile can be chopped down into yards, a yard can be chopped down into feet, feet to inches, inches to smaller inches. Get it small so you start, and then at least you're starting. That's what it goes. There we go. All right, Nolo, still have the 25-foot storage unit. Goal is December to get rid of it. Cool. It's good to have a goal. It's good to say that. And then what can you do a little bit every day? Get it on your calendar. And I don't say that, I don't want to be yelly. I'm gonna pull back. I feel like I'm being all, maybe it's the caffeine. You have to make time for the things that you want to do, or time is going to escape. Scheduling things, looking at your calendar, saying, I do have the time. And if I don't have the time, they're chunking it down, breeze blocking it, as I like to call it. Taking your day and saying, my day is always filled with a certain amount of hours. And a certain amount of hours, during certain hours, I do certain things. But you know what the cool thing is when I chunk it down and then I put it onto a place where I can see it visually, I see what I have to do, but then I see the spaces in between. And then I say, okay, I do have time. What can I do with the time I have? Thank you, 8-9 Designs. I'm not yelly. I sound very passionate. I am, but I don't want to, I don't want to be all, what I don't want to feel like is I'm lecturing. I'm just sharing it because life is so short. Life is so short and we never get the time back. Now I'm getting emotional because a couple of people I know have died like in the past couple of days. And it would suck to get to the end of your life and say, I could have done all this stuff, but I didn't. And I know that feeling. So I am actively doing that, helping myself do that. And I want you to do that too, for you, for the world. The world is missing out. You are missing out on stuff you want to do, all because of stuff. We ended up buying too much stuff at Target one day, or we thought that buying stuff was going to make us happy. It may have made you happy. It may have given you a dopamine rush. It may have delighted you. And I'm not saying you need to be minimalist. I am not saying that. What I'm saying is get right with yourself. Get right with what your level of clutter is. Somebody could look at my house, whatever, and be like, how can you be a decluttering coach? Look at all the stuff you have. I don't know why this person's talking like Wilford Brimley, but this is how my brain works. And I love the stuff I have in my home. I have curated it. It tells me good stories. It looks good. It's easy. My home is easy to maintain. It works for me. My home may not work for your home. That's okay. I want your home to work for you. And what I mean by that is minimize the amount of stuff you have so you can minimize the amount of time that you take to maintain it, so you can maximize the amount of time that you have to go out and live. Live. You've got a lot of living to do, right? It's so true. And this is why I am the decluttering life coach, because if your house looks good to Martha Stewart or people on Pinterest, or you're doing that thing where you're buying everybody's doing, I get all these things now about people buying the clear things to put Cheerios in and whatnot. If you want to do that, that's great. But to me, that to me is like time and money I'd rather spend doing something else. I will tell you that the decluttering police, are not going to come and look at your thing. If it looks good for you and you enjoy doing that, have at it. But I would much rather you go out and do something in the world that has never happened before. You can go create something. You can invent something. You can create a connection with somebody. You can do so many things besides buying and playing with your stuff. Okay? Yeah. Putting the things into the things to me is a time waster as well, Jackie, but also I want to hold space for people who say, this has really helped me get organized. I know exactly what I want. It may work for some people. It may work I want you to find out what works for you. So what I start with these with these TikTok lives, and oh my God, it's already 1:45. Time is flying, see? how quickly this last 45 minutes has gone. Get on my mailing list. So you know when the next TikTok lives are going to be. destinationdeclutter.com/join. Get onto it. It's free. That's where the good stuff is. I'm just letting you know. But what I want you to discover what works for you, what your life looks like, how old you are, the kids you have, the kids you don't have, the space of your home. I want you to find what works for you so that you can minimize the amount of time you spend doing all this kind of stuff, and then you maximize the time you go out and live. There we go. Yeah. Whew. I am riled up. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is the way I like to teach and the way I am just encouraging you to say, decluttering will possibly at times bring up emotions. You may be avoiding your decluttering because it is too overwhelming and you're afraid you're going to feel feelings and you're going to beat yourself up because previously, prior to meeting me, decluttering may have been a big pain in the ass. You may have just dragged your feet. You may have been bullied into it. You may not know how to do it. Maybe you were never taught because your parents also didn't know how to do it. Or your mom knew how to do it, but she was being June Cleaver and never taught you how to do it. You can learn how to declutter. And you can learn how to declutter in a way that doesn't take over your life, that's minimal, that's simple, that works for you, so that it isn't a big deal. It's just something you do. I love the fact that I save my emotional energy for things that matter, and I don't spend it on, oh, I hate to do this, or this is, ugh, I hate to do, all that kind of, I hate to do the dishes. I have a stitch I'm trying to do with Mel Robbins and Casey. I almost say Casey and the Sunshine Band. Sorry, that's where my brain goes. But your hate and your love should be, like, your hate just drains you. So don't hate this. Get curious about how you can make it easier and also less dramatic, and just freaking do it with the brain you have and the life you have so that you get the benefits from it. There are so many benefits to decluttering. Decluttering your home gives you space. Decluttering your head gives you quiet and space. So good. So good. You have fewer things to do. My weekends, I'm like, I don't know. What am I going to do? I don't have to do my chores. I guess I'll read a book. I'll go have fun with a friend. I'll go to an Oktoberfest. I'll jump in a pool. I'll plan a trip because I'm not dealing with all my stuff. Sure, I also do laundry and we did dishes and we've got some stuff to do, but it's not of that. We have decreased. Here's the thing. You probably have a backlog of clutter that has been accumulating over years, and it's gotten to a point where it's overwhelming. Could be. You can declutter that, but unless you change your daily habits, you might reclutter. Look, get curious about what your habits are, change them, and do that. There we go. All right, here we go. I promise. That was me getting on my little Brillo box. I'm going to get off, and I will help you. There we go. Oh, thank you so much for spreading the word about the Destination Decluttered YouTube things. I appreciate that. Yeah, Mary Hinchcliffe. It's the police. Open up. You're cluttered. Exactly. Yeah, you know what? Life is not one of those TV shows. It isn't. Okay, what else so many things. So many things. Oh, so many things. Interesting. Texas Inky. I almost called you Texas Stinky. I apologize. So I get a little bit of dyslexia. Every time I try and declutter, my husband throws the biggest tantrum and blames me. Notice two things. Notice how you have certain thoughts and feelings about stuff that make you do certain things. We all do. We all have thoughts that make us feel a feeling, and when we feel a feeling, we do a thing. That's like the simplest little thing. I like to think of it as your head goes to your heart goes to your hands. You have thoughts about clutter and stuff. Your husband has thoughts about clutter and stuff. But I love the fact that you said the biggest tantrum and blames me, a tantrum, because you know what? A lot of those unhelpful thoughts and feelings are what I call your backseat driver feelings, and they're really just little kids in the back seat. I'm a little kid, So just notice that, Too funny. And just get curious about it. What's his story? What made him pitch a fit? Ask him. Ask him with love. If you still love your husband, ask him with curiosity. What's up with that? Listen for an answer. He may not know, but know that you can't change him. But boy, howdy, can you change yourself. And when you start doing that and he notices that you're doing your stuff differently and it's looking and feeling better for you, but maybe not so better for him, it may change things, okay? Yeah, my mother-in-law sneaks out expired food when her husband is sleeping. Notice people, thoughts, That still could be good. We may not have it. A thought of lack, of fear of lack, keeps you hanging on to stuff. There we go. User 1963991. By the time I take care of dogs, cats, fish tanks, do dishes, laundry, drive kids, cook, no time. You know what I say? I say, take time for yourself. Decluttering, reclaim your time, get creative, and reclaim some time for yourself. If you want to spend your time helping other people, you will, but I will flip that on its edge, and I will say helping yourself will allow you to show up better for other people. It will. Get creative. If you breeze block your day, I used to do this. I used to get really into it, and I had like the stuff I'm doing for other people, stuff I'm doing for myself, and stuff I'm going to grow the life I want. And what's the stuff that you are doing for other people that somebody else could do? Could you get creative about reclaiming some time to do the decluttering, also getting other people involved in it? It shouldn't just be you. There we go. Okay. Fam, go explore. Because I've been homeless so many times, I'm now stable. I love my clutter in a messy house. Notice you say you love your clutter in a messy house, but then you put like an unhappy emoji there. Just notice that. If you love it, you probably wouldn't put the unhappy emoji, okay? Yeah, and user 1963, you deserve it. You deserve it. Seriously. Like this, there's an outmoded way, and this is how I coach. If you don't like what I'm saying, whoop, you can scroll past, because I think that the outmoded patriarchal way of the woman has to take care of freaking everything and wait on everybody is a bunch of crap. It has been for decades, but nobody has been able to change a lot of it because other people have benefited from a system that works that way. And we as women, we are awesome and we want to help other people, but we also help other people at the expense of ourselves. And I say it is time to do away with that. And strangely enough, one of the ways you can do that sounds counterintuitive because it's housework. It's decluttering. It's saying, I'm going to get rid of this stuff that doesn't mean anything to me to make more time for what I want to do. So yeah, it's so freaking true. And the neat thing is that the way I coach is decluttering is a life skill that everybody should know. Men, women, in between, whomever, whatever age, because it's a way of thinking that says, what is this thing? Do I want it in my life or not? And if I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? Okay, yes, there we go. Takes a team. I am not married to a house. I am not a housewife. Yeah, F that, And it may not be easy depending upon your situation and all sorts of things. Just because it's not easy doesn't mean you shouldn't try for it. Because you're not going to get what you don't ask for. You're not going to get what you don't realize you want, which is more time for yourself. That's one of the reasons I approach decluttering like I do, is to get you out of the freaking house, or maybe in the house and just freaking reading a book or painting or doing what you want. Boom. That's what I say. There we go. Sue Cello says, just filled 2 bags, saw your correction, full of clothes and purses I haven't used in years. Rock on, lady. Next question is, where are you going to donate it? And I only do this to make you think of what's the next step. Then I have to donate it. Can I put it in the car now? Can I look at my calendar and say, wait, I'm going to do this? Okay? Do that. I love it. Awesome 14 is saying, I have 2 contractor bags of clothes in my car ready to donate since this video started. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Next step would be to look at the easiest place that you know you can donate it. Check their hours. Maybe they're open today and you can go do it. And then you dopamine hit. You get a rock star. You get a Liz Lemon high five, like I like to say. Okay. What if you are always hoping to have a yard sale or visit a consignment store? That's good. What I want to say is, what's stopping you? You know what's stopping me is I've had yard sales, and they are a big time suck for me. I would rather spend my time doing other things. The amount of energy that goes into selling the stuff when I have done it seems equal to the amount of money I get. So I say, how can it be easier? That said, I will say you just gave me an idea. The consignment store. So remember when I was talking about clothing that I wanted to revisit? Where is it? I'm going to write down consignment store, because maybe the people will want that. Consignment. That's easier than trying to sell it online to me. I could find a consignment store near me. If you don't want to have a yard sale, have a yard sale. Everybody, here's a statement of fact. We are always going to buy stuff. We're going to spend money on things, and it's not going to work out. Know that's going to happen. And as they say, ignore the sunk cost. Release yourself from the sunk cost. Stop throwing good money after bad. And when I say that, I mean, stop throwing your good time after something. I can't get rid of that because I spent good money on it. Keep it. But if it's dragging you down, it's really not getting your money back, you know? Yeah, I think that's why I'm struggling, says Jackie. I've done so much work, but I have stuff to sell or get rid of. Find an easier way to do it. What's an easier way? Sandy just offered, post it on Facebook Marketplace. I have sold things. I've given away free stuff from my front yard. I put out a free sign. I put a table out. It's gone, you know? Okay, Maria Ruiz says it's so hard to declutter because I'm a part-time reseller. Look at how much time you spend. This is where the math brain, this is where the business, if you're reselling as a business, what's your hourly rate that you're getting paid? If you added up all the time it took you, and is it worth it to you? I can't answer that. You determine your worth, your rate, you know? There we go. Mary Hinchcliffe says, I love donating to thrift stores, supporting no-kill animal shelters. Find a way that feels good for you to get the stuff out. Plus, it's a tax deduction. So you make money when you donate it. There we go. I go to 3 different consignment stores. There we go. There's easier things. You know, and trust me, I love going to, you know, I used to like going to garage sales. I seriously did. I would put them on my calendar. That's how I would spend Saturdays. And I liked it until I didn't. And I'm kind of done with that chapter of my life, and that's okay. You can be okay with that too if you want. All right, what do we got? Oh, only 4 minutes left. What else do we have here? How about this? Destination Decluttered. I'm just saying, if you sign up for the mailing list, the people who signed up for the mailing list, I will immediately, as soon as I'm off, I'm going to send you the most recent email, so you'll know when the TikTok lives are. You'll get the link to the consultation calendar. Consultation calendar link is also on my website if you want to look at that now. Honestly, I think I've got 3 consultations left for the entirety of the month. It's crazy how quickly September is going by. There's only 20 days left of it, and I'm traveling for half of them. So if you're interested in doing one-on-one coaching, I don't do this to be salesy. I so don't, but I'm just statement of fact that if you want to start in October or maybe even before then, depending upon, you know, as soon as you get your, you know, consultation, there are 3 consultations left. And then when October hits, I'll do that. But then we get into December and stuff like that. So just notice that. Notice that time is passing. And I say that not to freak you out, but to say to yourself, okay, stop. What am I doing? Let me look ahead. Road trip. Let me look ahead. What does December look like? What do I want to get done between now and the end of the year? What do I want my home to look and feel like and function like for the holidays? Whatever holidays they are. What do I want my home to look and feel and function like while I head into the new year? 2024 is coming up. Wouldn't it be cooler to start it with some good habits? Just saying. I know I'm looking forward. This is the cool thing too, is I am looking ahead. I am looking forward. Notice that? Looking forward to a lot of things in the upcoming year. A lot of travel, doing more coaching, all sorts of fun things. What are you looking forward to? And what can you do to make it happen? Look at me. I look like I'm throwing like gang symbols. I'm just trying to point to like the little things on the thing here. All right. Yay. Okay. We got 1 minute. We barely have 1 minute. I probably should sign off, but this has been really cool. Thank you so much for letting me know that a later start time on some of these has been beneficial. And there we go. I put your lives on my calendar. Still have never done a Zoom. Put that Zoom on a calendar. See if it works out. Set a timer. Set a reminder for that. Okay. How to sign up for email? DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Or there's actually, if you go to my TikTok page, like my TikTok page if we've just met and you haven't liked it. Also, if you like it, you can share it with other people that you think are struggling with clutter and might like my approach. There is a Linktree type of links thing that gives you that. That's where you'll find all sorts of good stuff. Okay, Sundays are best. I will notice that. Sundays are good. I wasn't sure if Sundays would be good because of, as you know, Skate Life just said, I was driving home from church. So cool. The thing I love too is that you can always just listen to these like a podcast because it rarely changes. Awesome. You guys rock. I love how you were helping everybody in here. we help each other, but it's also going to be even more powerful when we help ourselves, because then you can help more people. Notice that since I've been helping myself, I then am I am putting myself out there to reach more people. It's such a cool thing. You can do that too, but start with yourself. Say to yourself, destination. What do I want my home life to look like? What do I want my home, my life to feel like? What do I want my home, my life to function like? Spend 5 minutes today with a notebook, write that stuff down. That's your destination, and we can get there, okay? All right, you guys, I will see you the next time I do a TikTok live. I'm going to have to look at my own schedule. I will do a quick video and upload it so everybody who's not on the list will know that. But also, yeah, destinationdecluttered.com/join is the mailing list. And please, as I wrote to myself on a mug, listen to your co-pilot. That's me. Listen to your co-pilot. Let's go that way. Not your backseat drivers who want to keep you stuck. And how about this one? Even better. Drive your life in the direction of your dreams, okay? That's your destination. Where you are now, dreams, let's do it, okay? And let's go have a fun Sunday.